As to the Skull Army, today we are playing some Gunsmith pre-alpha version 0.0.0.30C. This is the pre-alpha, so the alpha isn't completely out yet. Obviously, it's pretty explanatory. And so basically, what this game is where you can pretty much have your own company where you produce weapons and other military equipment for countries such as the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, Russia, and a couple other countries. You can actually even choose your starting location, and there's also different modes that you can play in, as well as various difficulties that have a certain amount of money that you can start out with. It also has a research tree, and the size of it is pretty decent for the version and stage that this game is at. I think the last update, I think it was either this update, like the 30 update, or the one before that. I just got this today, so I'm not entirely sure. I didn't read too much into the other versions. Um, So yeah, they added staff, and so that they working on that too, and yeah. Let's get to it. So here's when you click new game, and your difficulties: easy, normal, hard, gunsmith, and then various different starting money. Similar to like Farming Simulator, where you can choose a difficulty, and based on that difficulty, it'll give you a certain amount of money to start with. And then you have scenarios, which is basically this basically story mode in a way. So like there's road to riches, and the goal is to reach $100 million in wealth. And you have building a name, which the goals are getting reputations to 1,000 with National Army, Police Force, Special Forces, Civilian Retailers, Intelligence Agency. I'm not I think those are more in depth because it usually just shows a country flag, and I don't really pay attention to the specifics as to who I'm selling to. Okay, and then because I've also tried this out a couple of times, I started a new game just to figure it out. Then you have Iron Age, which is the goal is to manufacture and sell these specific things. Yes, you can sell weapons and bullets. But they're a pain in the ass to make though, and takes a lot of fucking money. You're not gonna be able to do it in the first time you load up a game unless you're hacking the game money. Then you have the Rise to the Skies, um, which the goals are pretty much every other scenario up here you have to do here. Yeah, so it's these three into this one. And then of course you have Sandbox, which is you define your own goals. The world is your own, basically. You can be as successful as you want to be. You don't have to be limited by any goals. Then it doesn't end by any goals. The only way you can actually end the game is if you lose all your money and go bankrupt and whatnot. So as you guys know from other games, I'm pretty stupid half the time, but I love management games. So we're gonna start off on easy. Um, Once we get an actual, when they release the full game, we might actually go more in depth and difficulty. But as of right now, we're just gonna stick to the easiest one. Which would also um, uh, easier to show off certain things. So of course you can pick different countries. I'm not entirely sure why these three are locked. Um, but you can choose the United States, Russia, China, and England are the countries you can choose from, but only one of them you can actually pick right now. Here's the intro. believe. Yeah. So yeah, welcome to the factory. This is the heart of your business. Let's get started. To move your camera view, use WSAD. Now, I've already I already know all this stuff, but for you guys, I'm just gonna play the tutorial anyways. Camera can also be moved by moving the cursor to the edges of the screen. This is actually kind of, I always skipped a tutorial, but that's actually somewhat of a fancy way of doing the tutorial that a lot more games should develop. Okay, so Q and E are to rotate. Of course, the middle mouse button, the scroll wheel, is to zoom in and out. If you guys didn't see, try panning the camera. Oh, yeah, that's right. And if you hold down the middle mouse button, this scroll wheel, if you hold that down, you can pan it around like that and change different angles. You can hold shift down to increase the speed as you move around. So like this is how slow you are, and then you go like that. So there you go. So now that you know how to navigate, let's get more important matters. Factory floor is where we will start our first production. There are some old machines in stock left over. Let's use them to get started. Before we can build our first line, we need to know what we need for it. All production layouts are detailed in the cookbook, which is right here. Here you'll find all the recipes divided by production stage, included in this panel. Inside this panel, we can see the exact layout, the production line, and manufacturer's Camel gloves. Most of it is on the factory floor, but we'll need a few more things. Open the resources panel. Let's have a stock here. Which is right here. Here you can see what's available in stock from resources. As you can see, you don't have enough to start up a camo. In the market, you can buy or sell raw materials. Right, so it's right here. We'll start by buying 100 units of fabric and plastic. Click on the resource. Okay, great. Now we'll deal with this. In the industrial operation, you'll get material spillage from time to time. This is a natural occurrence. Did not know that. That's actually quite interesting. When this happens, you can use the Hoover tool to return items into your stock to that, and that's basically right here. Okay, so start to do. Okay, so let's start this off here. Okay, so here's the sewing machine, the boxing, merger, plastic former, heater, dispenser, and cutter. And then you have your conveyor belts here, which it's R to rotate. And then we can get another dispenser here. Because whenever you make a new production line, like for clothing, at least, you always want to have two dispensers, one for fabric and one for plastic blocks. Now, since we have $200,000, we're gonna actually buy a crap ton of these. If you going on this, if you're lucky, you'll be able to buy this cheaply. The first time I played on this, I got both of them for about 20,000. Unlike this time where I got one for 20 and another for 30. So once you got all this set up, so you want to go into output, you want to choose your selected output. Then you want to go over to cutters. You want to make sure that's lined up. And then you want to also do the same thing with the cutter and select fabric gloves or whatever that you're using the cutter for. The heater does not require anything because it heats the it heats the plastic blocks, sorry. So that they can be formed into the plastic former so this would melt the plastic into like a gooey substance, and then it'll go in here, or just like a really soft plastic block, and then go in here, which will then make into a fitting. then here, of course, so this will spit out some fabric. This will cut it into the shape of a glove. Then once the plastic block is in here and the fabric's in here, they go in here and they get merged. Again, you have to select the output, fabric, gloves, or whatever clothing material you are building. Then it goes to the sewer. Some clothing items require two of these. Some of them require one. And then after that, it goes into the boxing machine, which will box an entire product once it reaches 20 of them. So these are all some of the stuff that it could be used for. So yeah, and then you have your research tree. Again, for the stage of the game it's at, it's decently big. So like you have your cooling, then you have, you have a zipper, which is required to make more in-depth clothing, just as combat backpacks, combat trousers, combat vests, which are bulletproof vests, and then boots, combat boots. Then you have line capacity, so that increases how many stations you can have. Then you have the racks, which allow you to stack more and more on top of each other, as well as the size difference. Then you have the ability to deduct how much factory maintenance cost is. Then you have your utilities. This is one of the first things you want to get if you plan on expanding, because you usually start out with 300 power. That's usually not enough after your second station. After you make a second station, it's usually you're going to need a new power utility in order to expand further after your second one has been built. Then you have a flow splitter, which allows for splitters to which allows to split the input flow into two outputs. And then you have your recycle bin, which allows for anything I think that falls on the ground to be recycled and put up back in the inventory, or anything that gets used but doesn't fully get used. I don't know. Have no idea what this thing is. Never been able to figure that out. Then you have belts tier 2, which allow for like ramped conveyor belts as well as smaller ones. And then you have your bullets that you can make. Here, so you have to get a bullet license first to produce them. You also have to have a reputation requirement. And then once you get that, you can start. So you can actually start researching these before you even get that, which you're probably gonna need, because you're not gonna spend $5,000 to make these that you can't even do if you don't have these. So yeah, so like this yellowish highlight right here is all the bullet production, which is like the metal roll dispenser. And you have your bullet puncher, your extruder, your capper and former, your propellant primer, your topper, and your boxer. And down here you have your chemical dispenser, mixer, and dryer. I don't know what that has to do with bullets. I'm assuming it's for specific bullets. Then once you get all those done, you can get and you get the reputation, you can get a license to produce bullets, such as the 9mm, the 45 ACP, 22 LR, the 5.56 NATO, the 7.62, and the 50 cal. Basically, is what it is. What's this? Nope. So yeah, you can also go to the Germans. And then once you get that done, you can actually get into weapons production. Of course, you're gonna need to get a license for that once you get all the stuff done. So yeah, you actually have to have these research, obviously, for the line. So for this is actually handguns right now. And you can get all this stuff, such as the metal former, hammer forge, milling machine, metal anodizer, gun merger, gun boxer, and then after you get all that, once you get your license, you can start producing various different handguns and components. So the only gun you can actually make is the SA Mk1. Don't know if that's a real gun, but it would be really nice if they added the 1911. And then after that, you can actually start building this, which is a submachine gun. Is what I think. What it looks to be a submachine gun, but it's either sub. Yeah, I think it is. Either that or it's some other handgun that they put in, but it's some fake one that because of licensing. So you have the ST9 pistol, and from the looks of it, it looks like a submachine gun, but it might not. Um, and then I think that's all of them. Yeah. Oh, and then you have your waist shaker. Not too informed about that. Then you can reset all your points if you want. And you have your staff management, which is how we're gonna start our production here. So we're gonna go into line control. We're gonna go into add station. Now I like to keep my stations close together to make it look like an actual like office area. And so I try to keep it by the entranceway here. And then you have some lockers, so I usually keep them like right here. Then you want to select a worker, which if you don't have any, you're going to want to go to position, line control worker, or whatever you need to use it for. And you want to recruit. Then when you recruit one guy, you go here and you select that worker. And you go to that station and he should be right here. It's Mr. Clean himself. Okay, so and then when you go to the station, you want to click add. And you want to select all the machines being used in that station for that specific production. You can actually add more than one of these. You can add as many as you want, or no, you can't. So you have your machine count, which is 8 out of 10. And then it shows like how much heat, water, and power that it's using, how much it is per day, and all the machines added to it. You can also select to restock all the items. And yeah, so let's just make sure we have everything set up here and selected in the output. See, we gotta select that plastic fittings, which are used to make an item. For those of you that are wondering what a block of plastic is gonna do for a fabric glove. And so yeah, so of course it's Q and E to rotate right there. So as you guys can also see down here, probably not too good, but there's the FPS right there that they have included into the game. I'm running at the maximum ultras. I'm running on ultra settings with VSync, and I'm getting a good 60, 59 FPS around there. So that's actually pretty good. Not entirely sure about it. Anything else? And then also for your workers, they have energy levels and whatnot. So what they'll do is they'll occasionally take breaks, and they'll go in here, which is the little break room. And it's not much, but you can actually add in stuff like a TV, a couch, and a plant. And they have a little TV there. See, like this person's going in, Mr. Clean's coming in here. Something National Geographic, I assume. So here's the process. So here's the fabric. Here, there's the plastic blocks, and then they'll go through here, get formed into gloves. Then you have the heat, which then form the plastic blocks into plastic fittings, which then come into here and turn into gloves, which then the sewer sews them, and it comes into here and it will collect. So here comes the first box right now, and it will be automatically added here. We already have a couple of boxes here too. And we want to go into our orders, available orders. Now, personally, I do not accept anyone besides Australia, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Personal preference. Um, Occasionally, I'll decline a contract by accident, but whenever you decline or accept, you'll decrease or increase your reputation with that person. I always like to have a good amount of contracts running, so that way I always have a contract to sell gloves to people. So of course the orders get added every couple of minutes or so, and then once there's once there's a certain amount of available orders in here that you are ready to accept, it will stop receiving new orders until you accept a couple more. And when you go into active orders, you can sort, you can order by, and then it shows how many they are requesting, how much they are paying, how long you have to fulfill these orders. So, yeah. And then it shows your status with them, reputation, and as you do more contracts with them, their status will get raised higher. Um, so, like, this is the National Army, which is the reputation you want to improve if you want to start into bullet production. And then research is also cost money. So like you can go up and go a lot of fucking money right there, or you could just like set it very lowly, and it still costs at 1%. It still costs a good amount of money. But you'll get 36 research points a day, and there is no speeding up time thing, which is something they should really add. But you have your timer, and that thing goes by slowly, but the days go by a lot faster than you think. And then the clock goes down from the start of the work day to the end of the work day. These guys don't actually ever leave, they just stand around. They also give you a couple new parts for your second station. You have your boxing machine, your dispenser, your heater, and your end of the line thing where the box come down. So let's get our Hoover and boom. Can I actually get up here at all? No, I cannot. Do not know the purpose of these garages at all. But yeah. Okay, so we have already maxed out an entire storage just about, so we're gonna add in more here. But anyways, guys, it gets pretty boring after a while, so I don't want to make this video too long. Again, like I said in the ATS video I just released, working on making these videos a lot shorter, not a 50 to an hour to 2 hours long of video. Trying to fix that, and I'm sorry about doing that so many times. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did playing it. Sorry there, I hit my mic. Well, like I said, if you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I like playing this game. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and make sure you hit that notification bell right next to the subscribe button. It takes literally the same amount of time as it does to click that subscribe button, and you'll never miss a video ever again. You'll get notifications in your phone, in your email, wherever you get your YouTube notifications, whether it's your tablet, your mobile device, your computers, your email, whatever it is. Then you'll probably or whatever device it is that you get your notifications, you'll never miss a video like this again. And I'll have a second part of ATS coming out soon. And I hope hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you guys in the next video.